Hello, my friends. It's me, Johnaroth. And today we are going to play a deck of 1,000 cuts. 1,000 little life point losses that leads to your opponent's destruction and your ultimate victory. Today we play with Jadar, Ghoulcaller of Nephalia. Jadar is a 1/1 human wizard who, at the beginning of your end step, if you control no creatures with decay, you get to create a 2/2 black zombie creature with decay. And decay is basically a mechanic where you've got a 2/2 zombie, but once it attacks, it dies. So you continually make new zombies every turn. You can't just keep making more and more. You can only have one at a time, and they can't block. But they're excellent for getting little pieces of damage in, or in this deck, allows you to cause a lot of life loss because of a lot of the other synergies of the creatures. This deck is all about removal and doing little bits of life loss to your opponent that all add up to their death. It's a mono black deck, which is my absolute favorite color to play. I play a lot of mono black decks because they're just so much fun. And as you can see, the curve here of the deck has a lot of 1 and 2 drops, and then it kind of tapers off 3 less, 4 less, 5 and 6. It's because this is another aggressive deck. In the 1 drop slot, you're going to have a lot of removal spells like Fatal Push and Cut Down to stop your opponent from getting out ramp cards that are going to help them. It's got some really good other removal like Tragic Slip, which can do -13 to a creature if something died, like one of your zombies in the turn. It's got a lot of card draw in it. Deadly Dispute, you can sacrifice to get some cards. Village Rites, you can sacrifice a zombie, get some cards. So there's a lot of great synergy here. You have other cards that anytime a creature dies, you're going to get some sort of benefit out of it. Varan lets you drain your opponent of life, you gain life. Marionette Master kind of has the same effect. Blood Artist, a great magic card. Whenever a creature dies, they lose 1 life, and you gain 1 life. I've killed opponents completely just with this card. There's also a lot of card draw cards, such as Gix, where if you hit your opponent, you draw cards. Ayara can sacrifice creatures to draw cards. Morbid Opportunist, whenever a creature dies, you draw a card. So the main themes of this deck are, removal and just pinging them over and over while you're drawing more and more cards. On the top end of this deck, you have my absolute favorite card of the deck, which is Grave Pact. Basically, whenever one of your creatures dies, your opponent has to sacrifice a creature. So you might lose a zombie, and they have to sacrifice if they only have 1 creature on the board and it's Emrakul dies. You've also got some other powerful creatures like Bloodletter, where whenever your opponent loses life, they actually lose double life for this. There's actually a combo where you can kill off your opponent instantly if you have this on the battlefield and you have Unstoppable Slasher. Unstoppable Slasher is a 2/3 where whenever he hits you, you lose half of your life. And then at the top end, we have a lot of great, just heavy hitters like Invoke Despair and Liliana, the Dreadhorde General, for sacrifice, card draw, etc. So this is a really fun deck. You can take on a variety of different opponents and crush them. So let's take Jadar into the queue and destroy them by 1,000 cuts. Okay, our first game is against Atraxa Praetor's Voice. Probably going to be a Planeswalker deck of some kind or a Poison deck. Those are usually the 2 options. Our opponent does get to go first. I have to keep this hand because it has Dark Ritual in it, and Dark Ritual is a card that's broken, so I'm keeping. We're going to summon our commander Jadar, and we're going to use Thoughtseize on our opponent. What do you have in your hand? Yeah, this is definitely a Planeswalker deck. So our goal here is to try to hit Atraxa as much as possible early on in the game, while he's still gearing up for all these powerful spells. The only thing that concerns me in this game is mana. We've only got 2 lands right now, so we need at least 2 more to get to the Lyanna to even do anything. So that could be problematic.
Right.
Okay, I'm not really worried about Ashiok. There's our 3rd land. Let's just hit him for 3. That Ashiok down to 1, then he can get rid of him. We need a land badly, though. Is it Atraxa time? It could be Atraxa time. Let's see. Nope. He's actually gonna go for the Broker's Ascendancy. Okay, we actually managed to pull off the land, which is excellent. Ashiok down. Now comes Liliana the Dark Realms. Great Planeswalker. Allows us to just continually get lands into our hand, which thins out our deck. Makes it more effective. Opponent's down still at 20, so they're still in pretty good shape, unfortunately. Atraxa is huge.
Beg for your life.
Just kill him. Down to 16. We're in a race against the clock here. We haven't really drawn a lot of creatures or other ways for Jadar to lower their life total, which is kind of sad. He's eyeing our Liliana. You think he's got something to kill him? Kill her? Summons a Contagion Dispenser, which proliferates when it's brought into the battlefield, but he doesn't have anything to proliferate with yet. And this is an artifact, so I can't destroy this with Feed the Swarm. Unfortunately. We are drawing nothing but lands.
I've decided you're in my way.
This is a gruesome battle. Kind of worried because it's the first Planeswalker he gets onto the battlefield. We're going to be in trouble. Finally killing Jadar. That's okay, we can bring him back. Ooh, we got a murderous writer. That's pretty good.
My magic is quite
Jadar's back in action. Maybe. He could have a... counter spell. Look at that. Okay, he summons Tasha.
perfect. I've got some
And we're going to kill Tasha.
test subject. My revenge will be served steaming hot. Keep your distance, mortals.
We're going to use Liliana's ultimate, which means we pretty much get unlimited mana for the rest of the game. Liliana's ultimate is that I have an emblem where every swamp gives me 4 mana. Now we just need creatures. If we can get creatures, we can definitely win this. But our opponent's making it difficult. The opponent summons Atraxa, and we're gonna kill Atraxa because you need to die. Oh, our opponent's bored. Oh, that's too bad. But opponent is staying in the game, so we'll take it.
I've decided I'm going to win.
We're going to use the Hive Tyrant to make it a creature for a turn and attack. Let's take away Tasha so he can't use that again. He's down to 4. Getting towards the end here. He's going to do Breach the Multiverse. Basically mills 10 cards and he can choose 2 creatures and planeswalkers for the battlefield. The question is, what is he going to choose? And is it enough? Will it be enough? I'm glad we took the Tasha out of his graveyard with Hive of the Tyrant, which means he can't bring that back.
Stick close, stay quiet, and we'll be fine.
Can't attack or block. Oh my gosh.
I can run circles around you.
We're gonna kill the snake summoner, and I think we got this. Because even though we're gonna say good game, and our opponent's out! Victory for us. Jadar over a Planeswalker deck. That was a really good game. With Jadar, it's all about the nicks and the cuts. You gotta keep hitting over and over again to get them to dead. Okay, now we're playing against Joda the Unifier. Joda is a scary commander. He can basically pump up all the legends that you can possibly come up with. He can also, whenever you cast a legendary spell, you keep exiling cards off the top of your library until you exile a legendary card with lesser cost, and then you cast it for free. So this guy can get really scary really fast. He is no joke. Okay, he's pumping up his Frodo. I'm gonna summon Jadar just to get that, get him going on the battlefield. We are not gonna block. We're not gonna block Frodo. First, we're gonna attack to see if he can do anything. Let's see. Let's look at this Frodo. He needs 3 mana to be able to pump it up again, so we're just going to go ahead and kill him now. Hopefully. Unless he's got some sort of counter spell. And we're going to end the turn. 22 for our opponent. Yeah, with Jadar, you just have to hit early and often on this to make sure that by the time our opponent has a significant battle presence, they're hopefully already dead. That's the goal. So I'm going for maximum damage here. Summon an Odd Dead Augur. Whenever a zombie dies, you get to draw a card and lose 1 life. So since we have a zombie every turn, we're going to get to draw an additional card. Blood Artist is amazing. Great card. Whenever it or another creature dies, your opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So as you can see, yeah, our opponent's already eyeing the Blood Artist because they know. Okay, this is Lazazel, which is a really difficult creature to kill. Whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability, you exile and return it to the battlefield. Luckily, we've saved a solution, which is Liliana. Because we're going to make him sacrifice the creature because we're not targeting it. And the opponent sees the writing on the wall and scoops. Playing against Tamiyo. Tamiyo is a multiple turns commander. Basically, the goal is to get Tamiyo onto the battlefield and get the loyalty high enough so that you can just keep casting Time Warp or Temporal Manipulation or any of those spells. It's a slow deck, so you can beat it pretty easily if you're aggressive enough. We do have a turn 1, a turn 2. So we're probably going to hit Tamiyo way before they can get to their little trick. So now we're playing against Mythweaver Pox. Mythweaver Pock is an alchemy card. Basically, you summon him, and then every land you play, it doubles the amount of lands you have. It's a pretty ridiculous alchemy card, quite honestly. Let's look at his hand. We're going to take away the Kami because he's going to play another land. He's going to summon Arcane Signet. Next turn, what he could do is summon Pock and then summon the land. I'm going to use the Lockthwain Scorn to kill the elf. He could still summon Mythweaver Pock next turn, but he won't get the bonus if he does. So that puts him off his game a little bit. Let's see if he's gonna... Yeah. He does not want to do that. We are gonna summon Jadar. Hopefully. Now he's gonna play his land to get another duplicate land. On our turn, he'll get another land to get a duplicate land. We do have one of my favorite cards in the deck, which is Grave Pact, which is whenever a creature you control's, each player sacrifices a creature of their choice. So this is really good against green decks, because our zombie, when it attacks, dies every turn. Now, as you can see, he's going to crack one of his forests to get an additional forest. He actually has a way of destroy. That's pretty good. I'll give him that. So we're going to have to come up with an alternate way to win this now. Because he's going to get Ulamog pretty soon. We're actually going to take the damage. Okay. He's going to be able to summon Ulamog next turn, which means we're going to get hurt pretty badly. I'm going to kill Mythweaver Pock. He'll crack his forest to get 2 more forests. Now, next turn, he's going to be able to have Ulamog. He'll be able to destroy 2 things of his choice. Honestly, if I were him, I would destroy my lands rather than the creatures. Because it cuts down my mana source. I'm actually saving up the Deadly Dispute in case he does target my commander. Our opponent is taking a long time. If we hadn't lost the Grave Pact, this game would be a completely different state. But unfortunately, it's not an option. He's gonna summon his commander again. Okay. I thought for sure it'd be Ulamog time, but that's okay. It's going to use the gate to Manorborn to draw a card. Gonna attack us for 2, we'll take it. Henrika. We still have not drawn a land, though. I can make him sacrifice one of his 2 creatures. I'm gonna do that here. But, oh, he has a Crater Hoof in his hand. And, of course, the Great Henge on top. I don't think we can win this, quite honestly. More than likely. Usually I have a pretty good track record against Mythweaver Pock. The key is to kill the mana dorks early on in the game. But, him destroying that Grave Pact was just too much to overcome. I don't think we can win this. We're gonna give it our best shot. We did finally draw another land, because we drew one earlier, but yeah, I just don't see us winning this, especially when he has a Crater Hoof in hand. I'm going to attack him to try to gain as much life as possible. But yeah. It's unfortunately too late in the game. I don't think we're going to pull out a victory on this one. Unless we can come up with something really good to... We do have the Beseech the Mirror. But yeah, he's going to summon his Crater Hoof. And unfortunately, that's just going to be too much to overcome. Was that 30? 30 damage? Yeah. We're not going to block because these all have trample. So, good game. So, good game. I think our opponent may be timed out. I don't know what's going on. While we're waiting for our opponent, I do want to point out that the only problem I really have with Arena in general is the amount of roping that is done. Usually it's salt roping. I do tend to win a lot of games of Magic, so you run across a lot of people where as soon as the tide turns and they start to lose, they basically rope out on you. So they let their timers run out while you're just sitting there because they basically walked away or they want to quit the game. But they want you to just sit there while they time out. So as you can see, in this case, our opponent has won. Like, they're going to do 30 damage here. I'm only at 18 life. So I don't know why in this instance our opponent's timing out. There are other legitimate reasons, I'm sure, for this opponent. Maybe he had a connection issue where he lost internet or something right then, because he's going to win the game. So there's really no reason why he would rope otherwise. And that's perfectly fine. Sometimes you lose connections to your internet, and that's legitimate. But there are a lot of people that I play every single day that are just constantly roping. And I don't understand why people rope. On Magic, it's a game. You're not going to win every single game, no matter how good of a Magic player you are or how well you built your deck. Just accept the loss and move on. There's a concede button. So, you can do that. Our opponent did finally come back, and game's over. Traxapraetor's voice again. Apparently they really want me to play against Atraxa today. Luckily we do get to go first. Got a good amount of lands. Got one of my favorite cards, Gix. I have another Brawl video about Gix as my commander. Seriously amazing card, one of my favorites. Recommend you check it out. And if our opponent doesn't summon any creatures... Okay, he summons a Bird of Paradise. I don't think he's going to block at all. So we're going to summon Gix and draw 2 more cards. Assuming he doesn't block. Love Gix. With Gix, again, you lose 1 life and you get to draw a card whenever whenever you hit an opponent. Our opponent has decided to wipe the board, which is a interesting choice. I'm gonna go for Jadar again, just to get him out and get a zombie. We're gonna focus on some card draw next turn. I'm hoping he summons his commander, which he does. He summons Atraxa, which is good news for us, because we do have a way of dealing with Atraxa. I'm going to summon the Morbid Opportunist. And what the Morbid Opportunist does is whenever a creature dies, we get to draw a card. We're going to kill Atraxa with Shieldred's Edict. And in the last game, I ended it talking about roping, and here we are. The same thing. It's early in the game. I've killed his commander, so it looks like this person is roping on me because their commander's dead. Now again, maybe they have like a legitimate connection issue. I don't know this person, but there's so many people who just throw a fit when they start to even lose a little bit. Okay. He's back. So maybe that wasn't it. Maybe it was just a connection issue. Opponent has 5 mana. He's going for Into the North to put another land onto the field tapped. Okay. There's a couple moves we could do here. We could either go for Aclyssots because the coast is clear. Aclyssots is really good for getting rid of cards out of people's hands. Whenever he attacks, they discard a card. If it's a land, it becomes a bat for you. Or I could summon the Undead Augur, which will get me another card when the zombie comes, and throw a meat hook onto the battlefield so that whenever my creatures die, he loses life. So this is a tough decision, actually. I just like having Aclyssots on the battlefield. He's really good at getting rid of cards in people's hands, and he's tough to kill, so I'm going to go for that path. Let's see if this pans out for us. Get to draw another card because we had a creature die for Morbid Opportunist. Opponent's thinking. This card that he's got over here, it's a Foretold card. It could be like a Doomscar or something like that. Okay, he summons Narset, which means we can't draw any more cards until we kill Narset. He's got a lot of land. So he could... maybe this card may be Alron's Epiphany, something like that, which means he could take another turn. I just don't know. Kind of scary. Okay, I'm going to summon the Undead Augur. Yeah, our opponent has decided to concede. So as you can see, I was going to summon the Undead Augur, which means we're going to get to draw another card this turn. We're going to draw 2 cards more when we attack. Aklisat's going to make him discard one of his cards. We're going to kill off Narset. So we do have quite a powerful force on the battlefield. We could also bring out Meat Hook to kind of protect our creatures because when they die, it'll deal him damage. He did have the Allruns Epiphany, but he was just too far behind to make a difference. Good game. This is Jadar, and we are playing against a Tally, Primal Conqueror. Tally is one of my least favorite Magic cards of all time, not gonna lie. This hand is so good because it has the Dark Ritual and the Grave Pact, but you need early removal spells against a Tally to stop those elves that he's gonna summon. This hand is a little bit better, so we're going to keep this. With a Tally, it's always the same. It's literally ramp, 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 summon a bunch of elves, artifacts to get mana, get a Tally out on the battlefield, and then do that over and over again. I'm actually surprised he did not have a turn 1 elf. We're going to summon Jadar. Okay, so this guy cost 2 mana. I'm going to kill him just to get him out of the way of our team. Vran is really good. Whenever one or more creatures you control dies, your opponent loses 2 and you gain 2 life. Like our zombie here. So this is like the Battle of 1,000 Cuts. Just keep doing damage to him every single turn till he dies. That's the best way you can deal with a Tally, quite honestly. Okay, he's going to kill Vran. It's probably a good move. I'm going to summon Rankle. Deal some more damage. I'm going to make him... We're going to start attacking his hand by making him discard cards. Gonna go with Feed the Swarm, I guess. See what he discards. He discards a Manglehorn, which could have destroyed any artifacts if we had him. I got him down to 15. But he has a Glorybringer. That's unfortunate. It's kind of a big hit for us. But on a positive note, because he exerted... he won't be able to use Glorybringer next turn. We're just going to keep hitting him. We've got to get him down to nothing before he can summon a Tally. He has a Nissa.
Together, we will prevail.
It's pretty good.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
Now, The Call of the Ring. Okay, this is an interesting hand. Aklasotz causes any damage that he takes to be double. We have 1, 4, 6. He's at 12 life. So I think we can pull off the win here. What we're going to do is summon Aklasotz. We have an Eaten Alive, which means we have to sacrifice a creature, but we'll sacrifice our 0/1 goat. Kill his lands so he has no blockers. And we win the game. And we defeat my arch nemesis, Etali Primal Conqueror. I'm sorry, but I hate that card. I've always hated that card. I've never been a fan of it just because I think it's kind of a boring Magic card where the strategy's the same all the time. No offense to anyone who likes the card, but it's just not for me. Good game, Etali. Thank you, my friends, for watching my video on Jadar Ghoulcaller. He's a great general. You're going to take on a variety of different opponents, and you're going to win a lot of games of Magic. Jadar is really aggressive and does a lot of damage over time that accumulates to your opponent's loss. You're still going to lose some games if your opponent has like multiple board wipes, multiple counter spells. If they can hold off your attack long enough, in the end game, your opponent usually can win if they have a lot of like heavier hitter cards. But if you're aggressive in the beginning and set up your cards and creatures and spells right, you are almost assured victory, and there's times where your opponent's just going to quit because they know that if one more thing of yours dies, they lose the game. So thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good day.